Nightreign might have only just dropped a few days ago, but already have news on updates and patches coming to the game as soon as possible. So let's go over everything we know so far. First things first, if you're hoping for some late night or early morning night lording, then you might be out of luck, as the official Elden Ring Twitter account tweeted that the game will be going down at 4 AM Eastern, which works out at 1 AM on the West Coast and 8 AM GMT. Now, this is deploy patch 1.01.1. While we don't know for sure what's coming in this patch, it does seem to be aimed at building on what the developers set out with the day 1 patch, so we can look forward to this tomorrow. What we do know is that next week, patch 1.02 will be released, adding a range of stuff to the game. While this patch will support bug fixes, it appears to be mostly aimed towards solo play and solo expeditions. The runes that can be acquired via solo play will be increased, allowing players to level up faster and higher to make the Night Lord bosses on Night 3 more manageable. There'll also be a quote, automatic revival upon defeat, which will allow players to revive once during a night boss fight, balancing the odds a little further into your solo adventure. Some more interesting news comes from CNET.com, who held an interview with director Junya Ishizaki, who dropped some interesting pieces of news, such as the game having full damage for a small moment during development. Now, based on how world travel is, I can't really picture this, but yeah, apparently it was there. The biggest piece of news that I personally took away from this was that he shared that the DLC that is underway for Nightreign currently will be mostly focused on new boss encounters and playable characters, which I think in hindsight is a really predictable and safe assumption that we could have made. In the long run, this will give the game a lot more long-term replayability if more classes and bosses are added, and it also wouldn't surprise me if we saw new maps at some point to really mix the variety up to keep players invested in the game after such a strong start. I think a lot of people would move back to base Elden Ring once they've sort of had their feel for this, so introducing new maps, keeping it almost, as live service as possible, but introducing new classes, bosses, I think would really help the game's longevity